If B is a third quadrant angle and sine of B equals negative 12 over 13, find sine of 2B, cosine of 2B, and tangent of 2B. Okay, so these are double angle identities. As you can see in the box above, we see what they're equal to. So we use the fact that sine of B equals negative 12 over 13. It's in the third quadrant, that's why sine is negative. So, but to start out, because our identities are going to include sine, cosine, and tangent, let's draw a triangle to help us figure out cosine and possibly tangent if we need to get that. So, if this is our angle here, we have this triangle. Remember, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite to that angle is 12. And this is 13. So we need to figure out this third side. Okay. Now, some of you might recognize this as a 5, 12, 13, but if you do not recognize this triangle, then just do the Pythagorean theorem. And if you do the Pythagorean, it'll give you that the third side is 5. So now sine of B equals negative 12 over 13. Cosine of B equals negative 5 over 13 because we have the adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, and it's negative because we have the third quadrant, so it's a negative value. Now our last one, the tangent, of B equals, now if you look at the diagram, we can get the tangent from that it's just opposite over adjacent, so it would be 12 over 5. Okay, so now we're ready to do the identities. So sine of 2B, we have one choice, 2 times sine of B cosine of B. Okay, so all we need to do is plug in what we know about sine and cosine. So 2 times sine of B, we get in the problem, negative 12 over 13. Cosine, we just found, is negative 5 over 13. Now multiply out those fractions. So multiply the numbers on the top, 2, 12, and 5. That gives us 120 on top over, now on the bottom, 13 times 13, 169. Now it's not negative anymore because we have 2 negative numbers multiplying. So this would be the answer to sine of 2b. Now cosine of 2b, since we have found sine and cosine, we actually have several choices. There's not one best choice here. If we only had our original problem, knowing that sine of b equals negative 12 over 13, you could have picked just the last one. But since we know sine and cosine, we can just go with the first one. For instance, we can do cosine squared of b minus sine squared of b. So when we plug stuff in, we get negative, now cosine is negative 5 over 13 squared minus negative 12 over 13, and that's squared. So when I square these two, I get 25 over 169 minus 144 over 169. So my answer will be negative 119 over 169. Okay, so the last part of this problem is to find tangent of 2b. So as we look at our table, for tangent of 2b, we only have one choice. So that would be 2 times tangent of b over 1 minus tangent squared of b. Okay, so we have found what tangent is equal to, so we just need to plug that in. So this is equal to 2 times 12 over 5 over 1 minus 12 over 5 squared. Okay, so let's simplify that. So on top we have 24 over 5 over, now the one I'm going to turn to 25 over 25, so I have a common denominator, minus 12 squared is 144 over 5 squared, which is 25. So I have 24 over 5 over minus 119 over 25. Okay, so just inverse multiply those two things. So you can see the 5 reduces with the 25. So the answer is 120 over 119. It's actually a negative 120 over 119. Okay, so that concludes this problem.